This is for friends and family. I just recently bought a Z6 Nikon, so I can shoot some video with my 85mm 1.4, which is really chill. I dig it. Right now I have the focus almost at as close as it goes, so that I'm getting a ton of background blur, and yeah, very shallow depth of field. Rocking back and forth trying to find that sweet spot. My last DSLR was a D700, one of the first full frame cameras. It didn't shoot video. It had a live view, but it was really bad, very laggy, not very good at all. Didn't shoot video. This camera can connect to a tablet, so right now I am basically streaming to my little tablet, so I can see framing and all that, scenario focus. I don't have to guess, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm really excited about the camera. And I'm trying to use this to push forward the conversation that I'm always fucking blasting about. Pushing my experience, sharing my experience. I'm not pushing it on anybody. I mean, if you are connected to me on social media, then you're kind of choosing to subscribe to my reality, and if you don't want to, then remove me. I don't really hold a lot of weight to social connections that way. I think that if you remove me or I remove you from social media and that is the end of our connection, then we weren't really all that connected to begin with. And I mean, I have friends who I mostly talk to on social media. Some people I've known for a really long time. Some people, we make an effort to connect with each other every once in a big while. We all have our lives that are living. But yeah, social media isn't really that important of a thing. I dig the aspect of sharing, putting your thoughts out there. Especially my thoughts drive me insane. So if when I putting them out there kind of helps, if my thoughts and the way I experience my reality affect you negatively, then remove me. I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna be upset at you because you remove me from social media. Social media is bullshit. A lot of people take it really, really heavy. They see it as the ultimate form of fucking everything, and I remember when it didn't exist. I remember when we visited our friends, connected with them, we're right there with them, listening to music, blah blah blah, all these things. That's connection to me. Social media is fun, it's interesting, it's educational, but I think about all the people who have just unfollowed me but kept me on their friends list, which is I mean, yeah, I don't understand why people feel this need to have empty connections. I don't. I'm from California. People waving to me for no reason is weird. So these little dances we do with each other are really strange. I don't understand them, and I don't need to understand them. It's not my culture. It's the culture that I've moved into, and I've constantly been changing myself to adapt to those cultures, Southern hospitality, and all those scenarios. And I'm almost 38 now. I've been living in the South since I was 11, 1995. And in that time, I've experienced a lot of interesting things. And I mean, all you can really say is the South. It's not I'm not in Southern California anymore. I haven't been in Southern California for a long time. The South is just this fucking thing. I don't know how to explain it. And I'm really grateful for for moving to the South and experiencing this different reality that is the South. To me, it's different. To the people who live here, it's not. It's home, But being from a melting pot of psychopaths, Southern California, it's not home to me, and it never will be home. This will never be home, and I kick and scream about it constantly. A lot of people are complacent with this toxicity, and I'm not saying that. Yeah, California is not a beautiful place. I mean, it has a lot of amazing things about it. It's a very crazy place. I'm not saying that it's better. It's just a diverse place, and I've learned the negative side of a lot of Southern habits. And yeah, there's a lot of awesome things. I'm not saying it's all bad. There's a lot of really cool things here. I've had a lot of great connections out in the South, living in the Carolinas, and yeah, everything here is gorgeous. The beaches, the mountains, yeah, everything's just gorgeous. The air is clean. Traffic's not that bad. There's hiking is fantastic. The food out here is fantastic, but there's a lot of things here that aren't fantastic, and a lot of those things some of us see every single day, and that's part of the conversation, the microaggressions. And I live in a town that likes to think that it's really hip on the conversation, but I really don't think that's so much the case. I think I've learned that we label ourselves things that we sometimes are not, and that's something that I'm trying to constantly be conscious of within myself, because when I see people around me do it, I ask myself, how do I do that? How do I falsely label myself? And I really kind of push away from labels and really try to only be action about things. That's important to me. Action. Label yourself anything you want to label yourself. If you're not actively doing things, you're not it. You can, put what label on anything, and unless it's it, you're just kind of lying to yourself and your surroundings. And my experience here is extremely different than a lot of people's experience here. I've been to the festival scene. I've been to the bar scenes. I've been to all these different scenes in this town by shooting photography. I spent a lot of time out in downtown. I spent a lot of time at restaurants and so on. And if it's for you, that's fantastic. That's really fucking awesome. I'm happy for you. The negative part of things validating you, and then the positive parts of things validating you. It's full circle. I've seen a lot of what look like awesome connections here, and then I've seen a lot of people use those connections to prey on people. But everything has its scenario. Everything, it is what it is. I'm just trying to metabolize all these things. I've had such a weird experience in this place, and it's just humans all over the place do weird shit constantly. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to end up wherever we're going to end up, however we're going to end up. I don't know the future. I'm not, fucking clairvoyant. What's going to happen is going to happen. I'm going to resonate how I see fit. And like I said, if that derails your happiness, then fucking delete me, remove me. If I have to say things that make you more comfortable, yeah, don't be here. Like, I'm not here to make people comfortable. I don't make myself comfortable. And I want you, if you want comfort, like, do you. Like, I'm not saying anything negative about whatever. Like, your struggle is not my struggle. Your path is not my path. But don't pretend. Don't pretend to be, part of my struggle, or pretend to listen when you just want to be validated. And I'm working at doing the same. But also, I've got a lot of things to unpack. In this experience. My experience of living in the Carolinas, living in the Carolinas, and watching the first, brown people, immigrants for the most part, move into that area, and then just being clumped together with them, or watching the conservative, people in that area react aggressively, and then looking at me and saying, "Hey, Rudy, you came in the country the right way." It's an experience a lot of you will never know, which is fantastic. And yeah, a lot of our experiences intertwine. The things that happen to us are sometimes very similar. But sometimes worlds apart. And this isn't the oppression Olympics. This isn't, let's see who has the rougher, harder time. Like, it's not that, it's just about sharing. Like, I'm not trying to fucking shut you up, but if you come to, my side of the room and start screaming at me and telling me that your voice matters, like, yeah, your voice matters, but over there, like, when you start forcing it on me on my platform, then you can shut the fuck up. I'll remove you. I don't care. I'm not here to fight with you. I'm not here to argue with you. If you're, not part of my conversation, there's no reason for either one of us to interact. I'm not trying to be right. I'm not trying to be wrong. I'm not trying to coexist with you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to do any of these things other than work on my personal conversation and experience, and that's paramount. That's important. That's number one. And your scenario should be that to you. And yeah, like there was a time when I was aggressive, like super aggressive, and would didn't really understand the etiquette of social media, and would burst into scenarios and blah blah blah, run my fucking mouth and be really aggressive, and that is something that I'm checking in with myself about, because I don't want to be this angry person in your world, and sometimes people say things that really don't vibe with my reality. I can tell that sometimes people have a lot more faith in humanity. I can tell that they believe in this goodness, and I really don't. I really don't believe in those things. But I'm not, like I said, I'm working on not forcing it on you. Like I said, if you're watching this, if you see any of my posts, you've subscribed. If that bothers you, then unsubscribe. Stop paying attention. Go somewhere else. Like I said, I'm not here to make things easy on you. If I had my way and I could really share the conversation that I really want to share, it wouldn't be a lot like this. I have to really watch what I say constantly, because we're still not there yet. I remember hearing the conversation in the 60s and how aggressive it was. Malcolm X, James Baldwin, yeah. just very aggressive conversations, very honest, very blunt, and I feel that you really have to tiptoe around in Asheville's climate. I think that Asheville's very self-validating. I think it's very fake. I think that it's they're ready to cancel you, at any drop. And there's not a lot of diversity in the groups that are trying to cancel you. They're canceling each other for whatever reason, for every reason. They're blanketing these things and other reasons as well. And they're just a bunch of angry, pouty kids. And like I said, that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I've lived in some of the nastiest shit in the South. And yeah, Asheville just has this predatory nature about it. And you guys claim to stand for, people of color, but anytime one of us shares our reality of this area, the very few of us that are here and are in, those communities like downtown and all those scenes, you shut us down, which is fine. Shut us down, I like that. Shut me down whenever you see fit, and then I'll just learn that I don't need to have the conversation. I don't need to have my conversation with you, because that's a waste of time. And thank you for helping me not waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to waste my time. And this whole scenario of video and vlogging is very fresh and new to me. I'm still battling with it. Learning how to be comfortable in front of a camera has been a journey. But it's one that I want to walk. I love photography. I love videography. I love all the scenarios surrounding it. All the things you can do with it. So yeah. And we're here to connect. I'm learning who I am. I'm learning what my experience has done to me and where it's put my mind. And it's all on a on a countdown. Time is not infinite. Time, especially for humans, we're all on a countdown, and I'm trying to utilize my time the best way I can. And this is it: being vocal. I grew up in California. I was there during a lot of the riots, a lot of the protests, a lot of scenarios going on. So I very much grew up in fighting, and that's just the way, I guess, of my people. Definitely given the country, the scenario of the country that we've been in for a very long time. And like I said, it is what it is. If this isn't productive for your life, disengage. That's awesome that you have the ability to do that. That's fantastic. And do it. Exercise it. Disengage. Don't pretend to want to stand for people that you don't have the time to stand for. And I'm personally working on my part in that scenario of standing for people, finding out who they are and why they are the way they are. And the conversation of colonization is definitely there, and conditioning, how our minds have been conditioned to see things in a certain way. And I'm engaging that with myself, the way I see people, who I'm attracted to, intimately, and just conversation, based, like what I shoot photography. Why do I want to shoot photography of this person, and why do I not want to shoot photography of that person? Like, we're conditioned to be a certain way and do a certain thing and think a certain way, see a certain way, like all these things. So I've been just trying to disengage from that scenario as much as possible, and really just process why any of these things are happening and what can I do to step away from them. And may start a journey to being healthy psychologically, and healthy connections. Like, one of the things that I'm constantly talking about is conditioning, but also projections. The way I personally would wrap a whole world around somebody, just because they looked at me a certain way, and that got me in a lot of trouble, and that put me in relationships that were doomed, because I was building this person up so much that I wasn't seeing them. And in some cases they were doing the same thing, or they were trying to put me in this little box, into what they needed me to be. And I'm not trying to do either one of those. I'm not trying to put anybody in a box. I'm not trying to lift somebody up higher than they should be. I'm trying to see who somebody is, and I need to clean the palette of my mind. I need to I gotta brush it all away and start from scratch, to find out who you are. I have to find out who the fuck I am, what I am, why I am. And it's exhausting, but it's something that I don't mind spiraling about until the end of my life. I think I'm constantly hearing connection and all these scenarios, and I've realized that a lot of people seem like as much as they try to connect, a lot of them seem like it's very shallow still. And I'm not trying to blanket everybody. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who connect very deeply. But my thing is like, I think that I'm very far away from myself. So, I just like anything, like, you have to learn the foundation. You have to learn the intricate, steps of all the scenario, all the devices, all the cogs, all the small pieces, the big pieces, all these things, and then you can function better. And it's not a very easy thing to do given the scenario of America. And that, like I said, that conversation is happening. And I need to personally push that conversation for myself, because it's not anybody's responsibility to do it. It's not anybody's responsibility to listen. Nobody deserves anything. I get a lot of negative looks for that when I say that nobody deserves anything, because I live in a town that's like, you deserve abundance, like all these things, you deserve, and this is a lot of people that I guess maybe have been told that they can't have, or that they shouldn't have, so they're fighting these voices that are telling them that they don't deserve these things. So the opposite is, I deserve them, but where I'm at, like, if anybody deserved anything, we wouldn't be where we're at right now, because so much horrible things have happened to people, large amounts of people, and atrocious, horrible fucking things. We're learning about it, and there's remnants of it all over the place, especially like with the lack of diversity in this town, but also the diversity that is in this town that stays somewhere else, doesn't really come around for good reason, because this place is very dangerous, and it's very predatorial for a lot of people. A lot of people don't see it, and a lot of people are able to avoid it, but also a lot of people like to not really pay attention to it. It's all about controlling your reality, and if you don't see it, it's not there, but it's very real, it's very there. You've just chose not to engage it, which is fine. That's your coping mechanism. That's how you deal. That's cool. I get it, but sometimes it goes to that scenario where people start attacking other people for pointing out things that they don't want to see, and it's just like, don't shut people down because their reality the things that they experience slightly disrupt your cozy reality, because they're living in some atrocious shit, and I deal with microaggressions every single day. Sometimes I get some pretty big shit, but microaggressions, I know, there's a lot of people out there who deal with horrible fucking things, and yeah, and they show the scars of it, they show the psychological scars of it, and and I understand. I think a lot of people are spiraling, they're trying to be something, they're trying to be supportive, when really they're crumbling inside, but they're being part of that supportive mindset and dogma, religion, helps them, which is fantastic. I'm not a huge fan of fundamentalist religion. I see people stepping away from fundamentalism and choosing other scenarios like New Age and blah blah blah, blah blah. It's all, to me, a lot of it's very fundamentalist. It's all the same foundation. It's all the same operating system. It's just being experienced. It's just being relabeled something else, and it's just people dealing with their trauma. I'm not trying to fuck with your coping mechanism. I'm trying to fuck with how you stay sane. But please just don't fuck with how I stay sane. I go out in this town and I see something you don't see, and vice versa. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna be vocal about it, especially when I see these signs everywhere that are like this and that, and those might be okay for some people, but for me they're not. Not even a little bit. And you have this, a lot of people have this nationalist, patriotism of their town, their love of their town, and sometimes their toxic love of their town, to where it could do no wrong, but if it can't, where are all these communities that were displaced, and what do you label that, and how do you deal with those communities not coming back, not being allowed back? The history of Asheville is a very interesting history, with a lot of crazy things, and it's one thing to bring up these scenarios, but if we're not doing anything about it, what are we doing? These constructs of the way we run things are all an illusion. We can easily change everything just like that. We pretend like we're in shackles, we pretend like we're locked in, and we're locked into by a system that was a garbage system for a very long time. The massacre, the genocide of Native Americans, the displacement of tons of people. It's the way it's dealt with anybody darker, the way it's dealt with women. We're playing a game that started out really toxic, and I don't understand why we're still playing the game. I guess bureaucracy, I don't know. It's something. I try to be as little part of the game as possible. But this is me processing my place in that game, Mostly the reason why I stay connected is because a lot of the resources have been gobbled up, and you can't really do the things that you can do. And right now a lot of people out there are like, yeah, you could do these things, and it's just I don't know, fuck off, but continue doing whatever it is you're doing, whatever. But yeah. All right, so this is the first video of me rambling, using my new camera, trying to share a little bit more about myself, and semi telling people to fuck off, but also, semi being like, I don't know, thankful for